Hello and welcome to The Game Plan. I'm Zach Bailey, joined by Anthony Seibold in North Queensland. Once again, Seibs, we're down to 2. It's the Rabbitohs against the Panthers. We're going to focus on the Rabbitohs and how they're going to win Sunday's grand final. But before we get there, how impressed have you been by your former team's form in this final series?
Yeah, they build up their performances week on week as we've approached the end of the season. So, been very impressed, particularly in and around their kick sprint mentality. Like Reynolds and Cody Walker's kicking game has been outstanding, but their kick chase has been great off the back of that. They're really suffocating teams.
All right, let's see how you think the Bunnies can get the job done against the Panthers in Sunday's grand final. Here is the Rabbitohs, a game plan. 1, bang down the front door. 2, suffocate the Panthers back 5 and leads inside 2 in defenders. That's the game plan for Wayne Bennett. The forward battle, Seibs, is always crucial in big games. Can you break down exactly why it's so important on Sunday night?
Well, it's really important on Sunday night because for Cody Walker, Adam Reynolds to do their thing and play past the advantage line, they need the likes of Junior Totola, Mark Nichols, Tom Burgess, Joe Arrow, Cameron Murray to create momentum for those guys. And also Damien Cook. I think they need to bring Damien Cook into the game. So running with intent at inside shoulders is banging down the front door. And what that will do is anytime there's a marker left on the floor, Damien Cook can take advantage of that.
So have you seen the Bunnies do this throughout the final series that gives you enough confidence that they can do it again on the game's biggest stage?
Yeah, I did. I went back and watched the last couple of times that South Sydney played Penrith Panthers, and this is one of the things I've seen. You'll see the amount of times defenders are left on the floor. So there's Abby Coruscant left on the floor just to the edge of your screen, bottom edge of your screen, because the ball carrier for the South Sydney Rabbitohs ran it inside shoulders. And what that does is it brings Damien Cook into the game. It brings Cameron Murray into the game. There he is again, inside shoulders. One of the other things that South Sydney did well was create some offload, some second phase play, which created instability in the Penrith Panthers line. So expect the South Sydney Rabbitohs forwards to run with intent, run it inside shoulders, and they will develop and enable Damien Cook to do his thing from dummy half. So there's Schuster missing a tackle out the back, Tom Burgess running with intent at inside shoulders. This will allow Damien Cook to get out from that dummy half position. Again, there's Croker left on the floor, so there's only one marker. Instability in the defensive line of Manly. Damien Cook takes advantage of that. And South Sydney can really play past the advantage on off the back of that. So there you go, there's kick out again. Marker not set, third man not back. Damien Cook takes advantage of that. And that's how they're going to create instability in a really good Penrith Panthers defensive line. You know, you'll see Joe Arrow there off the back of that offload as well. There's Cook again. Jumping out of dummy half when Luai wasn't set at marker and just pokes his nose through and, as I said, creates instability in the defensive line of the Penrith Panthers, which they need to do because they're a very good defensive outfit, Penrith Panthers. They've showed that over the last couple of weeks.
You spoke a couple of weeks ago the importance of Cody Walker, but in particular that man, Damien Cook. He needs one of the biggest games of his life on the weekend for South Sydney to get the job done, doesn't he?
I think he's ready to play, a man of the match, performance. I think, for me, if Damien Cook gets the Clive Churchill medal, South Sydney Rabbitohs will win the flag. I think, the importance of banging down the front door, which means creating momentum through that middle third of the field for Damien Cook to jump out, put pressure on the Penrith Panthers' ruck defence. That will enable Reynolds and Cody Walker and Young Tafe to play past the advantage line. And that will put pressure on the Penrith Panthers' edge defence.
South Sydney did an incredible job in nullifying the impact of Tom Trbojevic in last week's prelim final. How important is the kicking game this weekend from Cody Walker and Adam Reynolds, who is injured, carrying a groin injury at the moment, to nullify the impact of the winger of the year in Brian To'o and the other man on the edge who's a bit of an X-factor for the Panthers in Stephen Crichton?
Yeah, I think what South Sydney have as a weapon in their game at the moment is I think they're the best kick chase team in the competition. Obviously, they've got some fantastic kickers in Reynolds and Walker, as you suggest, but I think their ability to get in the kick chase line, it's almost like a kick sprint line, and be aggressive with their first contact is the biggest thing that I've taken away over the last couple of weeks. So they'll suffocate the back five for the Penrith Panthers. And some examples that I've seen recently, you spoke about Turbo and nullifying him. They were putting the ball on Saab's head, getting down there with the straight square line, as you can see there. But look at this intent. South Sydney Rabbitohs, they're in numbers, jacking Saab up and dragging him back towards his own line. This is, again, on a kick return. there, Reynolds, Campbell, Graham get hold of Turbo, and they're running back towards his own line. So it's an aggressive kick sprint line, and they're really making metres off the back of that aggressive intent. So, again, this is the last time they played. There's Crichton, great first contact, really aggressive, and then they go and hunt off the back of that. So I really like what they're doing in this space. There they go, landing Crichton. Again, that'll be Dylan Edwards, we think, this week. But look at the intent from the South Sydney Rabbitohs. They'll suffocate the back five, and that would be a game plan that they go into this game with. Suffocate the back five, don't let them make metres. And the longer Cleary has to kick from his own end of the field, the harder it's going to be for the Penrith Panthers to get good field position.
They may be boring terms for fans watching, but field position and possession, they are so vitally important for Wayne Bennett and his side this weekend. If they don't win those battles, can they execute that kicking game like you saw there to nullify the like of the back three for Penrith?
I think they can. The other thing they can do, Zach, is they can go and disrupt the back three for the Panthers. And this is some examples. Just have a look. This is from better field position, but have a look at that, that kick chase line from the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Now, what I want to highlight is this. There's 1, 2, 3 South Sydney players in the picture there. They go up. They don't let Saab or Trebojevic get into the contest. They get there first. That's the willingness they've got in their kick chase line at the moment. As I said, it's a kick sprint line. And they get the ball back there, and obviously some good things come off the back of that with regards to Cody Walker going through to score a 4-pointer. This is another example. Very good kick chase line there by the Bunnies. They get into the contest again. This time it's Paula who beats Gary to the contest. That's Brian Tohu this weekend. So I think that you'll see Reynolds and Walker kick to that wing as well. But there's another 4-pointer. So there's 8 or 10 or 12 points from last weekend's game, which in the, towards the end of the game, that's a big difference. It's off the back of them challenging and disrupting the back three for the Panthers this weekend.
A month ago, everybody stood here, or we stood here and said, no Latrell Mitchell, no South Sydney premiership. They've done an incredible job to overcome one of the most damaging players, or the loss of one of the most damaging players in the NRL. How have they been able to do it so successfully when a player like Blake Taaffe, who's only had 7 games of experience, tries to fill his big shoes?
Well, I think their forwards have done a tremendous job building a platform. So, Junior Totola and Mark Nichols very much unheralded. Cameron Murray, obviously, and deservingly so, gets a lot of plaudits. But I think the 2 front rows have done a fantastic job building that platform. They really have banged down the front door for the Bunnies over the last couple of weeks. And what it does is it allows Cody Walker and Reynolds to play deep into the line. So young Taaffe's come into that fullback position. One thing I've noticed, they've had plenty of success over the recent weeks running leads inside the 2 in defenders of opposition teams. And we've looked at this during the year. And I think that's what they'll do this weekend. They had some joy against Penrith the last time they played against them. And now I'll show you some examples here, Zach. I'll point out the 2 in defender first of all. So in this situation here, it's Matt Burton on the left-hand side for the Penrith Panthers. So just have a look at Campbell Graham running that lead inside Matt Burton. What it does, it drags Burton away from Tohu. And Taaffe got great tempo out the back shape, really good positioning, good tempo under the football. They created 2-on-1. So I expect them to do that again this week. So again, this time we're going to the Bunnies' left-hand side rather than their right. This time we're identifying Momorowski, and he's the right-hand centre for the Penrith Panthers. Again, have a look how they detach him away from Charlie Staines. Now, we think he'll be Crichton in that position of Charlie Staines this week, but expect them to do this again. So there's Momorowski. Okay, we highlighted him. What happens is he's detached from the end of the line. That's a lead inside the 2 in. Now what we see is a 1-2 versus a 1 defender situation. So expect Taaffe to pop up on both sides at times. Gagai will be at the back of that shape on the left-hand side, and Taaffe will place himself on the right side. But that's a real trend. They're doing a really good job with regards to that. This time it's Cameron Murray, but just again, have a look who they've dragged in. They dragged in Momorowski. And this time it's young Keon Kolomatangi, who has dragged the 2 in defender there for the Penrith Panthers. There's Taaffe out the back of shape again. So they've created a 2v1 situation. It's almost 3v1 there this time, rather, with Gagai there. And Gagai goes through and puts Cody Walker underneath the sticks for a 4-pointer. So expect plenty of leads to be run inside the 2 in defenders. Last but not least, have a look at this one here last weekend. They attach Morgan Harper, who's the 2 in defender for the Seagulls. They created a 2v1 situation with Taaffe at the back of shape there against Jason Saab of the Seagulls team. And one of the best finishes in the game goes across for the 4-pointer in Alex Johnson. So I think that's what they'll do in good ball. So really deliberate plan, bang down the front door as they come up the field, suffocate the Penrith Panthers back 5, and then leads inside 2 in defenders when they're in good ball field position.
Okay, I've got to get a tip off you here, Siebes. You look at the likes of Wayne Bennett, Adam Reynolds, the coach and captain, they're leaving the club. Dane Gagai has been so good for the Rabbitohs. He's leaving the club. And, of course, Benji Marshall, he's set to retire after the grand final. Will that farewell factor be enough to help the Bunnies win their first premiership since 2014?
I think there'll be so much emotion attached. I think South Sydney Rabbitohs will almost be having that mentality of The Last Dance, the famous Michael Jordan documentary. It's the last dance for a lot of the guys who have been there. And guys who have been there a long time in Adam Reynolds, and guys who have been there sort of 3 or 4 years now, and people like Dane Gagai and Wayne Bennett. So there'll be a lot of emotion attached. I do think if they get an even share of possession and they get decent field position, that they'll get the result. I really do. Penrith Panthers are a fantastic defensive team, but I just got the feeling if South Sydney get an even share of possession or more than that, then their kicking game will suffocate the back 5 of the Panthers, and it'll be tough for the Panthers to hold them out.
Siebes, as always, thank you for your incredible insight. It's great to hear the secrets that you think Wayne Bennett will be drawing on this weekend in order for South Sydney to win Sunday's grand final. Remember, you can tune in on Channel 9. 7:30 p.m. is kickoff between the South Sydney Rabbitohs and Penrith Panthers.